right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
Answering the call 9 years after her mom died in the line of duty.
Now I can live through her.
An EMT recruit's mission to continue her mother's legacy.
After a brief October cool down, we warm up again. I'll tell you when we may see a record high.
A monster named Milton growing in the Gulf and bringing dire warnings to Florida.
If you choose to stay in one of those evacuation areas, you're going to die.
Tonight, a pair of St. Louis snowbirds clipped by Helene are now keeping a close eye on the next storm.
It's going to be scary for a lot of people.
Right now, Hurricane Milton has strengthened back into a powerful Category 5 storm just 24 hours before it's expected to make landfall. Good evening. I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Kelly Jackson. It is all calm in Tampa tonight, which is still in the storm's bullseye. This could be the first direct hit for the city since 1921.
This is a storm of the century. We haven't had this potential impact in over 100 years. We have to be ready. It's all hands on deck.
Tonight, time is running out for people to escape the path of the life-threatening storm surge and damaging winds. Mandatory evacuations are underway in coastal areas. Officials are urging people to heed their warnings.
If you're hearing this right now, prepare to evacuate. You don't have to go out of state. You just have to get out of the way of that water. Run from the water, hide from the wind.
Another big concern, Milton's powerful winds could turn debris from Hurricane Helene's devastation into projectiles. Tonight, a St. Louis area family whose Florida home was damaged by Helene is bracing for what Milton could bring.
They fear this next storm will pack an even more of a punch. 5 on Your Side's Brent Solomon is just back from Fenton with the local family's growing concerns. Brent.
Mike, Kelly, that family spends half the year here and the other half in Florida. Bradenton Beach is on Anna Maria Island, about an hour outside of Tampa. The community sits right on the Gulf of Mexico.
Watching all the devastation is so hard. This is when the water came into the entry hall and the garage.
Susan Putney of Fenton has the images to prove the effects of Mother Nature. This is her Florida home.
And that's how fast the water was coming.
Right after Hurricane Helene hit. 30 inches of water, making it inside.
We had 3 foot of sand on the road.
They lost power, water, and their car.
The car and the golf cart, they're shot. We were supposed to go down there on Sunday and meet the insurance adjuster, but we had to put that on hold.
That's because Hurricane Milton is on the way, and it feels like deja vu. Only worse.
I don't have a good feeling about this.
They moved many of their valuables from the garage to the first floor because of the last storm. This one is expected to be even more powerful.
If it gets to the first floor, then we're going to lose a lot. It's going to be scary for a lot of people. Our sweet little island's never going to be the same.
Putney and her husband are trying to keep calm and keep things in perspective.
When you think about the people in North Carolina that no one has gotten to yet, that's so much worse.
And Putney says this is the first time water has ever entered that townhome community. That's why they're so on edge. Tonight, she says her biggest concern is for people in Florida who have nowhere else to go.
Florida's theme parks are taking steps to keep guests and tourists safe. Starting tomorrow, Disney World and Universal Studios will close all of its parks in the Orlando area, which is about 85 miles east of Tampa. It's the first time they've closed since Hurricane Ian in 2022. For the latest on Milton's path, let's send it over to weather impact meteorologist Jim Castillo.
Yeah, hi, Mike. So we are looking at the wind speed, the latest 160 miles an hour, and that's still a Category 5. Northeast movement now has picked up a little bit at 12 miles an hour, and that northeast movement will continue to pick up. Plus, the wind field may double in the next 24 hours before it even hits Florida. So we're watching Sarasota, also Tampa Bay, all the way down to the Fort Myers area, which was hit by Ian just 2 years ago. So the future cast may actually keep it as a Category 4. So you get the idea, whether it's 3, 4, or 5, it is a major hurricane, and winds of about 130 miles an hour as of 8 p.m. on Wednesday. So we'll watch this as it pushes into the Sarasota area. That is the direct hit area now. So Tampa Bay may actually be on the northern side of that, which has a little bit more of an offshore wind first before it moves inland. Then they'll get that onshore push. But the highest actually storm surge will likely be anywhere from Tampa Bay all the way down to Sarasota and even possibly Fort Myers, and as high as over 9 feet. So something we'll keep our eyes on all the way through tomorrow night, and into the next couple of days here. But tomorrow, the threat of severe weather and tornadoes includes the entire state of Florida. Much more on our forecast coming up.
And to get the latest updates on the hurricane and to watch live cameras from Florida's west coast, you can text the word Milton to 314-425-5355 and we'll send you a link. Tonight, the St. Louis Public School Board met for the first time since another high-ranking official stepped down.
The director of transportation is retiring amidst a transportation crisis. 5 on your side's Laura Barcheski live outside Sumner High School, where tonight's meeting is still going on. Laura?
Mike and Kelly, the interim superintendent, briefly addressed the director of transportation leaving just before the transportation report toward the end of this meeting. While I did not see her here, the director of transportation, Toyin Akinola, sent a statement to 5 on your side earlier today saying she served the district for 25 years and decided to retire to begin a new chapter of her life, saying, quote, "I am confident that I'm leaving the department in capable hands, and I trust that the district will continue to flourish. I appreciate you." The chief operations officer says students are getting to and from school on time about 85% of the time. Akinola was instrumental in trying to make this patchwork transportation plan work, which parents are saying still isn't working.
Ms. Akinola has decided to retire on October 31st. She will be greatly missed. I would also like to take this time to introduce Mr. Leviticus McNeil as the Assistant Director for Transportation. He will be working very closely with our transportation partners and vendors, and his first meeting will take place on October 18, 2024.
So the rest of this month will be a lot of transitioning over to the new director. It's unclear if that will affect any of our students during that time. Reporting live in St. Louis, Laura Barcheski, 5 on your side.
Tonight, health officials are finding more cases of severe food poisoning connected to a Metro East restaurant. Health officials now say the Shigella outbreak at the Fairview Heights Longhorn Steakhouse has led to 20 confirmed cases. There are also 22 probable cases. Shigella is highly contagious and causes a high fever and severe gastrointestinal issues. The restaurant remains closed. Health officials are asking anyone who ate at the restaurant from September 21st to October 2nd to fill out a survey.
Right now, a Franklin County man is in jail accused of killing his estranged wife after running her off the road. Donald Pierce is charged with second-degree murder. According to the crash report, he was driving behind Jody Pierce near St. Clair, Missouri. Investigators say he hit Jody's car on the driver's side, causing her car to overturn, hit a tree, and travel down into a river. Jody's family is now calling for justice.
She was like my sister, absolutely. And I miss her now more than anything. I just wish that she was here. I wish that this wouldn't have happened. I wish that people would have opened up a lot more and to get him in jail.
Donald Pierce also faces an upcoming trial for a rape case from 2017. There is a GoFundMe raising money for Jody's funeral. We have a link in the As Seen on TV section at KSDK.com. Tonight, a firefighter is recovering in the hospital, and dozens of international students at Webster University are without a place to stay after an apartment fire. The Shrewsbury Fire Department says the fire started in the basement laundry room and damaged 10 units at the Rivercrest Apartments. One firefighter suffered a cardiac emergency and is in the ICU tonight. Webster University is now working to help those affected students.
The university is trying to assess the immediate needs of these students. How do we get them food, clothing, a temporary place to stay? Some of them lost their homework. They lost their computers.
The Red Cross is also helping people find temporary shelter. The cause of the fire is still under investigation.
New tonight, the daughter of a fallen first responder with the Northeast Ambulance and Fire Protection District has fulfilled a lifelong dream. Shaerica Wilson always wanted to follow in her mother's footsteps, and it happened today, becoming a full-time paramedic. However, the achievement was bittersweet. Since she was 3 years old, Shayerica Wilson wanted to be like her mom.
I used to come to the firehouse all the time. I was playing in their uniform. Halloween, I would always dress up as my mom. She would put me in her uniform, and I would walk around and just be so proud to have on that uniform.
Her mother, Sharice Bishop, led by example, proudly serving the community as an EMT with Northeast Ambulance Fire Protection District. Until one day in 2011, Bishop went on a call for a cardiac arrest and collapsed while performing CPR.
I remember getting the phone call that they were working a cardiac arrest, and it was Sharice Bishop.
In a cruel twist of fate, Bishop also suffered cardiac arrest and died days later.
It was a lot of grief because I didn't know. As a 7-year-old girl, I lost my mom, I lost my best friend.
Wilson knew she wanted to continue in her mother's path and became an EMT just like her mom.
And it was all in our best interest that she be successful. You know, it's in her best interest that we wanted her to be successful because we really wanted her to be part of our family because she always has been.
Wilson's next goal was to become a paramedic, a goal her mother was just days away from accomplishing herself. Wilson achieved it for both of them.
I present you all Shayerica Wilson, paramedic firefighter for the Northeast Ambulance and Fire Protection District.
She would be so happy to say that she created a legacy for me that I am now fulfilling and that I have taken and ran with it.
And Shayerica is not stopping here. She plans to enter the Fire Academy in January and her end game becoming a cardiac nurse.
Legit letters or voter fraud. Tonight we verify notices about your status at the ballot box showing up in your mailbox. You know her from The Office. Tonight, Jenna Fisher is sharing her courageous battle. The St. Louis native's message to other women.
October has more warm afternoons for us when we may hit a record high. Also, the timing on the next cool snap.
Tonight, the FBI announced it has foiled a terror plot to target Americans on Election Day. 27-year-old Nasir Ahmad Twaedi was arrested in Oklahoma while trying to buy rifles and ammunition from an undercover officer. Agents say the Afghan national and a juvenile planned to stage a violent attack on November 5th on behalf of ISIS. Well, Election Day is 4 weeks from today, and tomorrow is the last day to register to vote in Missouri.
Some voters who think they're registered are getting a letter saying they're not. Today, Ann Allred verifies if this notice is legit.
Frank from unincorporated St. Louis County got this letter saying, according to our review of publicly available records, someone at this address might not be registered to vote. It's signed by the president of the Voter Participation Center. Frank asked the Verify team if this letter is a scam. Let's verify. Our sources, the St. Louis County Board of Elections and the IRS. The letter comes with a voter registration application and a prepaid return envelope addressed to the St. Louis County Board of Elections. We checked, and yes, it's the correct address. A spokesperson for the BOE office told the Verify team, while we are not responsible for these mailings, the voter registration cards are legitimate and can be returned to the St. Louis County Election Board to register to vote. So what is the Voter Participation Center? According to IRS documents the Verify team reviewed, it was founded in 2003 and is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. In its most recent filing with the IRS, the Voter Participation Center stated its mission is to increase civic engagement among the underrepresented members of the new American majority: unmarried women, people of color, young people. We can verify these mailings are not a scam. They provide a legitimate way to register to vote in St. Louis County. However, receiving this letter does not mean you're not registered. If you'd like to check your registration status, we have a link to the Missouri database. Just look for this story on KSDK.com under the As Seen on TV section. I'm Ann Allred, 5 on your side.
What would you like Ann to verify? Send an email to verify@ksdk.com.
Now some small business news. You can put a fork in Uncle Bill's Pancake House. After 6 decades in business, the popular South St. Louis restaurant is done. The 24-hour breakfast mainstay on South Kings Highway served its last meal around noon today. Over the last couple of days, there was a long line of customers wanting to get in one last order.
A lot of people came here after late nights at the bars and clubs, and we had a lot of wild, crazy nights and days and good Sundays. Church people come on Sundays.
yes, really nice.
The owner has decided to retire. The manager tells us a new buyer could come in and could reopen the restaurant. The West County location in Manchester on Manchester Road will remain open. A Dogtown restaurant has served up its last pastrami sandwiches and burgers. Nomad on Tam Avenue closed for good Sunday after 5 years in business. The owner says the successful restaurant isn't closing because of anything financial. They plan to open another restaurant. A South City brewery will soon have its last call. Earthbound Beer plans to close its Cherokee Street taproom and distribution by the end of the year. The owners of the Nano Brewery say it's time to bring an end to their 10-year experiment of brewing weird beers.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and a TV star from St. Louis is sharing her personal battle with the disease. Jenna Fisher shared on Instagram today that she was diagnosed with stage 1 triple positive breast cancer last December. She underwent surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation. The 50-year-old says she is now cancer-free. The Nearings Hall grad, best known for her role as Pam Beasley on The Office, is encouraging other women not to skip their mammograms.
All right, Scott is off tonight. Meteorologist Jim Castillo rejoins us now with that weather impact forecast, and there's going to be a big impact in Florida. I know you're going to talk about that.
Yes, we'll go ahead and start with that. So just tracking Milton, guys, still at Category 5, 160 mile-per-hour winds and moving northeast at 12. And with a little bit of wind shear, it likely becomes a 4 overnight and stays a 4 as it approaches the Tampa Bay area and also Sarasota. And the wind field will extend outward, probably double the size, and that will cause that wall of water we call the storm surge, with waves on top of that, to be a big factor in this disaster that is likely going to be unfolding by this time tomorrow night. Back here at home, it is a beautiful shot of the arch. We had a great day today. The arch is all lit up. It's cool again, 57 degrees, jacket weather for sure. Low humidity all day, but at night it recovers a little bit. It's 62% and a calm wind. But we have a little heat impacting our weather forecast as we get into Saturday. So hot weather expected. Can you believe it? And we've seen this. It gets cool for a couple of days and then it goes right back up again. So the record high temperature on Saturday is 89, and we may actually hit that. And then a cold front brings us to 74 Sunday. But the old record, there it is, 89, and that was an old record too. And 1879, also 1890, both those years we had 89. Sunday, a front moves through. It does get breezy, you'll notice that. And then we're back to high pressure again, but really chilly weather to start next week off. I'll show you that in a minute here. So high pressure, it spins clockwise. You saw the wind barbs there. So we're clear tonight. And then you get into that warmer air that's around Wichita and Oklahoma City, and that moves our way over the next couple of days. So we'll see a lot of 80s each and every afternoon. And these cool overnight lows become milder for sure. So lows tonight in the 40s to about 53. And then tomorrow it's all sunshine and very close to 80. Some of us staying in the upper 70s. Southwest wind at 5 miles an hour. And this front up to the north and between Chicago and St. Louis kind of dissipates. But watch what happens as we get into the weekend forecast here. We're still at about 82 as we get into Thursday, 84 Friday, possibly 85. And there it is, that Saturday, about 89 for that high temperature. It gets breezy Sunday, 74, but look at Monday, 65 and breezy. Tuesday, 59. Brr, but guess what? It is October, so it's time.
And you were saying earlier that you think Milton will be a Category 4 when it hits. Is that what they're saying?
It looks like that either a strong 3 or a weak 4. But
and
so
that number doesn't
major.
really matter because it's the storm surge that's going to be the big problem.
Right, and the wind field looks like it's going to double in size. So that just makes it a large hurricane and still a major hurricane.
And Sarasota is near Tampa, so even if it's not a direct hit, it'll be kind of like a direct hit.
Absolutely. Even Tampa Bay, the storm surge could be as high as 10 to 15 feet.
Oh my goodness.
All right, Jim, thanks.
Yep.
Frank is here with sports.
What a day for the Blues in Seattle. Coach Drink gives us his thoughts on Luther Burden's body language, and a St. Louis woman is tearing up the WNBA.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers, driving your way since 1942.
There was a time in the Blues opener today when they were trailing Seattle 2-0 in the second period, and Seattle was out shooting them 21-7. I don't think the odds were good then, but the odds don't determine what happens on the ice. This is a heck of an opening night win for the Note. Jessica Campbell became the first full-time female coach in NHL history on the bench for the Kraken today. Jordan Binnington out of sight just like he was last season. 30 saves for Binner. 2-0 Kraken in the second. Blues on the power play. Jordan Kyrou does what he does best, light the lamp. Shortly after that, it was time for Philip Broberg to score his first goal as a Blue. Looks like a good trade. We have a 2-2 game. Kyrou wants to be a 40-goal scorer. He's now on pace for 164. Blues win a thriller 3-2.
We had a little pretty slow start on the power play last year, so I think that's one thing we were kind of working on during camp, and we've been moving the puck well, attacking the net more, so it's good to get one there.
Yeah, he's so fast and great player obviously, so it's nice to have him on the team.
Yeah, Binner was outstanding early on when we weren't at our best, and we saw that a lot last year, and we had to rely on him early to keep that game close.
For some reason, 6 years ago, a Mizzou athletic director named Jim Sturck thought it would be a good idea for Mizzou to play a game at UMass. Worst idea ever. UMass is 1-5, and nobody cares about the game. And when they come to Mizzou next season, nobody will care about that game either. What we do care about is getting great production out of Luther Burden. Supposed to be an All-American, the stats are not there yet. And it really hurt early in that game on Saturday that this touchdown was called back because an offensive lineman crossed the line of scrimmage. Luther didn't like it. His body language was not great. Coach addressed the topic today.
I'll be honest, I ignore the noise. There's nobody on our team that's questioning Luther's motivation, drive, determination to help us win. I think everybody saw him competing for catches at the end of the game. I think we were all disappointed. I hope they didn't have a video of me on the sideline the entire game because my facial expressions would have shown disappointment in our performance.
One of the best high school football teams in the area resides at Lafayette High School. The Lancers are 6-0 to start a year for the first time since 2012. Northwestern tight end commit Robbie Preckle and the rest of the Lafayette seniors will have their biggest test of the season this week, hosting undefeated rival Eureka in the Battle of 109.
Talk about embracing the whole process, about everything that's involved in being a high school athlete and a high school football player, and they enjoy every aspect of it.
Some of these guys have been lifting and seeing every single day for the last year, and so I think kind of just building that community the last couple of years really helps build it up to our senior season.
And now coming into probably that's going to be our hardest game of the year now. It's definitely one of the biggest ones.
Phillies and Mets in Game 3. Jerry Seinfeld in the stands for this one, and Pete Alonso at the plate. His power is real and spectacular. Mets go up 2-1 in the series with a 7-2 victory. Mike Schilt and the Padres facing the Dodgers in Game 3. Fernando Tatis Jr. with a home run in the second, and in the words of Chauncey Gardner from being there, he likes to watch. Right now, it's 6-5 Padres in the 8th inning. WNBA semifinals, the pride of Incarnate Word, Nafisa Collier continues to dominate for Minnesota against Connecticut. Nafisa, 27 points, 11 rebounds. Lynx win it 88-77. They move to the finals. I used to say that Nafisa is the female equivalent of Jason Tatum. I'm not sure if it's not the other way around.
Oh, wow.
She is that good. She's
really
destroying everybody, getting better every game.
Before the Blues started the season, you kind of projected how they would do. Nobody really knows, but somebody said they're about the 22nd best team out of 32.
Yeah. All the power rankings have them in that 20 to 23 range. Not
and
a whole lot
that
of
means
respect.
they're not making the playoffs.
Exactly. But we know that prognostications mean nothing.
Yes.
And that's just a great start against in a wild atmosphere for the Blues.
Do we know why they started in the afternoon in Seattle?
ESPN wanted to win the day with NHL coverage, so they started at 3 o'clock. It'll end at midnight, all NHL. And we were the first one. Yeah.
All right. Frank, thanks.
A new trick or treat that won't rot your kids' teeth, but it may make you smell their feet. Mega Millions may have to change its name to Mega Billions. Starting next April, the cost of a single ticket will go up from $2 to $5. The multi-state lottery says this will lead to faster growing jackpots and more billion-dollar prizes.
Spirit Halloween is now creeping into the holiday season. The company is opening 10 Spirit Christmas test stores in the Northeast later this month. They will sell Christmas decorations, inflatables, and gifts. The pop-up stores will also feature a life-size gingerbread village and pictures with Santa.
Airheads Candy is out with a new offering for trick-or-treaters, and it's a play on the classic Halloween song. The Smell My Feet Foot Cherry Scented Spray comes in a foot-shaped bottle. Airheads is giving away limited edition bottles on its website on October 14th.
I don't think so. There you have it. 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
Start your day with Today in St. Louis, beginning at 4 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.